Mayor Giuliani. As your elected president, you would continue to support, or you would probably continue to support public funding of abortion for women. The South Carolina House has just passed a bill that would require a woman to look at an ultrasound for baby before having an abortion. Would you support that?
Well, what I said yesterday is what I've been saying throughout. I think for the last number of months, and publicly and privately for quite some time, which is I'm against abortion. I hate it. I wish there never was an abortion, and I would counsel a woman to have an adoption instead of an abortion. But ultimately, I believe it's an individual right and of a woman to make that choice. I also, on public funding or funding of abortion, said I would want to see it decided on a state-by-state basis. And what that means is I would leave the Hyde Amendment in place. It's been the law now 17, 18 years. It's part of the constitutional balance that I talked about yesterday. And the Hyde Amendment leaves the funding issue largely to the states. They have to decide how they're going to do it. And the same thing on the issue that you're giving me now, which is I'd leave that to the states to decide. And that's largely my approach, not only in the area of abortion, but in the area of guns and other things. I think these things are best decided on a state-by-state basis with as limited a federal role as the law requires.
So you would be fine with the ultrasound bill if it is...
Oh, you mean if it was passed by the... Sure. The legislature of South Carolina should make its decision about that. The legislature of California can make a different decision. The legislature of Illinois can make it. I'm just picking states. I don't necessarily know what they would decide. But I think that's a much better way for the federal government to operate. If I'm going to pick strict constructionist judges, which I'm going to do, for the reason that they are going to strictly interpret the Constitution, then as the president, I have to be a strict constructionist. Then as a president, I have to read the federal opinions, and I have to see what it says. And I think that if you're asking that of somebody else, you have to follow it yourself. So the present state of the law on these issues is not something that I would seek to change.
Mayor, you talk about being a straight shooter a lot. Is this position you have on abortion something that's going to shoot a hole in a key Republican plank?
I don't think I use quite that description. I tell people what I think. I tell them evaluate me as I am, and do not expect that you're going to agree with me on everything. I don't agree with me on everything, so I can't imagine you're going to agree with me on everything. And I do follow the Ronald Reagan rule of 80-20. We're 80% friends, we're 20% enemies. And it may not be the issue you're talking about. It could be some other issue. And then what I say to them is, then you have to evaluate, yes, there are differences. How big are the differences? And if that's real important to you, if that's the most important thing, then I'm comfortable with the fact you will vote for me. I mean, that's your right. That's what this is all about. I learned in my first race for mayor, and then every time after that, I hope to win. I expect to win. I do not expect to get 100% of votes.
One more question.